Today I came up with an idea. A lot of people, liked it or didn't like it. And I said I believe that teachers shouldn't pay taxes. And you can also throw other, public funded jobs like policemen, firemen, or stuff of that nature. But right now we're going to focus on the teachers. I'm back. It's the Boxing Clinic and more. And yes, I talk more than boxing and more than sports. And it's another food for thought 2 days in a row. So I guess we on some type of a roll with it. And I just felt like the teachers shouldn't pay taxes, the public teachers, not the private school funded teachers, you know what I'm saying? I feel that because they are underpaid, and this varies, I definitely think it should be a pay scale, kind of be as the measuring stick for it. But I know a lot of teachers that I run across, both some in the North and the South, are very, very underpaid, man. And it's a tough job, man. It's one of the most important jobs on this earth is passing knowledge down. And not just pass the knowledge down, knowing how to pass the knowledge down and articulate it to the next generation, because old school ways of teaching, it doesn't necessarily work with these kids now, man. I even noticed that a lot of kids, are not allowed to bring their books home. So they got these worksheets they got to work off of because a lot of the kids are damaging the books and it costs money. And it's getting harder and harder, especially for the urban and inner city teachers. And not even just that, a lot of suburban teachers as well are dealing with the kids that want to be the gangbangers, that want to be the thugs, or try to be tough or just the class clowns. And with that being said, a lot of teachers, what's lacking at home training is spilling over to the classroom. So when, kids don't have home training or respect for their elders, respect for authority, then a teacher has to step in and play the disciplinarian. And not even the way that they, you want them to do that. As far as, they can't touch them. They cuss at them. These kids got phones in the classroom. And they have to really kind of rebuild these home training things in the classroom. And meanwhile, you're doing that, you trying to get a lesson across to them. And that's damn near impossible in 30, 40, 50, 90 minutes, whatever the class length is. Even if you say we're in the same classroom for the whole 8 hours. That's tough. To try to rebuild a kid mentally, as far as home training, and then give him the food he needs and the information he needs in the classroom. That's an impossible job when you physically can't touch a kid. And the kid knows his position he's in. Well, my mama say this, and my mama say that, and you playing the role of a parent and a teacher. That's impossible, man. And for people who actually disagree with me saying that, I believe that the teacher shouldn't pay for whatever certain pay grade they do make. I think it should be a certain bar. That most teachers that don't get paid what they should get paid, shouldn't have to pay taxes. I think that's the best thing to do. They shouldn't, man. It's hard every day. They coming in here for short money, and you see people with twice as easy jobs bringing home more money than you. That's hard. Being a teacher today, especially for public schools in the inner city, that's a tough job, man. Not only are you a teacher, you're a mentor, you're a role model, and you're a parent. And it's a tough job, man. Trust me, I did some work studies with some kids, man. That's a really, really tough job. Really tough job. Especially, you say, the teenagers are tough in middle school and high school. Even elementary kids are have phones and think they're above the law. And you have to rebuild these kids up and then give them the knowledge for them to retain. And a lot of these kids can't even retain, the knowledge because they're not even being assessed right and being in the right classroom they should be in. It's a tough job, man. I know people say, well, I go to work and I got a tough job every day and this and that. I lift steel bars and cylinders and I do this and my job is hard. Why shouldn't they have to pay taxes? Well, they wouldn't need this situation if you pay for your kids' education. Well, my tax dollars is not enough. Your tax dollars are not enough, and it's equaling up to that. And it's not the teacher's fault that most of these, school boards are corrupt, and this lottery money that's supposed to go to these kids, and they go to the schools, it don't go to them. At the end of the day, they got the same paycheck every week, short money, stresses, and after a while, it's not even going to be worth for a lot of these teachers to even go to school to be a teacher. It's not going to be worth it anymore. And when its teachers become scarce, people gonna be, I didn't want to be a teacher. And then they're going to be offering full ride scholarships for teachers to go to school to be a teacher. And people going to figure out, even with a full ride scholarship with no student loans, it still ain't worth it. It still ain't worth it. The stress, the pressure, The non-support from the parents. The parents don't care about these kids, man. The parents just send them to school to get out their face. And parents don't sit down with these kids and make sure they know how to read, or make sure they on their P's and Q's and their homework, or make sure their kids are not, skipping high school and going to do things they don't have to do. They don't care. Average parents out here do not care. And a teacher is more than somebody that just gives you the knowledge, man. It's more than that. They being role models. They being mentors. They doing so much now, man. They doing after school programs. They making sure kids eat. Kids get home. They got clean. There's so many roles that parents play and coaches play. Teachers and coaches play now, man. It's just ridiculous, man. They going past the Call of Duty, man. They going past the stresses of the job. And people say, well, you don't have to do that and that. You do. You have compassion for these kids, man, and these teenagers and these students. You grow to love them, even though they might irritate you, man. But you grow to love them. You grow to go to bat for them, man. And it's a tough job, dog. It's a very, very tough job, and they shouldn't have to pay taxes. If they ain't making a certain amount of money in their school district, man, make it easier on these guys and don't let them pay taxes. What would it hurt? Honestly. It's the most important job on this planet is to pass knowledge from one human being to the next human being. And people think it's that easy. It's not that easy. If it was that easy, you wouldn't have that many stressed out teachers. You wouldn't have that many teachers that don't want to do it no more. You don't have that many teachers that rather go work at the Walmart instead of work at the school. You won't have that many teachers that's on strike and now don't even want to show up to school. It's an impossible job, damn near, man, with all the odds stacked against you. The lack of parenting, the lack of respect, all that. All that. And most people don't look at it as the most important job on the planet. And it is. Can't nobody just go into a classroom, and even if we can give you all the knowledge that a teacher would know, you can have the most knowledge in the world. It doesn't mean you're going to go in the classroom and hit your mark of 100%, or let's say your mark is 70%. Get 70% of the class to learn this subject, or learn this math problem, this equation, or this chapter. You think you just read the chapter and the kids get it? No, it don't work like that. Sometimes individually you have to sit down and see who gets it, who don't get it. Oh, I understand this, I understand that. Oh, you gotta stay after school. You gotta stay after school, put time in for the kids to get it. Because honestly, the kids that you giving the knowledge is, the kids that you saving, are ultimately gonna be the kids that eventually take over the world in the next generation. So if they don't learn what they need to learn, then the world is just gonna be that much messed up. Like I said, it's the most important job in the world, man. It's the most important job. Just because you know it don't mean you can pass it on and articulate and teach it. Trust me. Just because you a great football player don't make you a great coach. It don't work like that. Some people get it like that and they can't explain how they get like that. It's a natural talent. And it's also a talent for somebody to understand it and articulate it and teach it and get somebody to actually get it. And don't get frustrated. Don't cry. Don't yell. Don't smack them. Don't grab them. Don't huff and puff and get all emotional because they don't understand the first 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. But they can sit there 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, and then when the kids get it, they can get happiness out of it. Oh, I did it. I got through to them. I didn't give up. I stuck with them. And that passes on to the kid. Knowledge is not easy to teach down and hand down, man. And these teachers, man, are vastly underpaid. It's a dangerous job. You got kids shooting up schools now. They deserve not to pay taxes. And you might disagree with me and say, oh, everybody must pay taxes and this and that. I disagree. If you're not going to pay them more and pay them what they're worth, which you can never pay them what they're worth, that money, that actually is a job that's limitless. That's $1 billion job, man. Being a teacher. I don't care at what level. Getting them prepared for the kindergarten to the first, to the second, to the third, all the way up, and producing scholars that's going to go on and save the world and be doctors, lawyers, or whatever. That's a priceless job, man. That's a very, very priceless job, and people don't understand that, man. These teachers are vastly underpaid. They don't need to pay taxes, man. Let them keep their money, man. Not asking you to get them a pay raise of 6 figures or nothing like that. Let them keep their money. I think that'll go a long way to enticing more teachers to jump up in the trade, man. It'll jump a long way, and they deserve it, man. And I could just remember how tough I was on certain teachers, man, and how some of the other kids were tough on certain teachers. You know, how the tricks we played on certain teachers. How tough it was. You look back and say, man, I was an idiot, man. I could have done better. I know this better. And just think about that, man. That's a tough job, in my opinion, man. But let me know what you think in the comments section. You may disagree. You may agree with me. Links in the description, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We do videos like this from time to time. We want to be just more than a sports channel. Also, if you want to donate, PayPal link in the description to help the channel grow. We do videos like this from time to time, and I want to do more of them. But, just request. You got an idea? Hit me in the DM on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We gone.